The Orlando Magic just finished off their fourth and final preseason game of this year. And with that, now that we've seen a slight sample size of what this team has to offer, I figure why not let's go over my top 5 bold predictions of the upcoming season. Now, before I get into this, these are bold predictions, so expect some of these kind of be out there. I'm not going to say anything like, number 1 seed and MVP. And for the most part, everything I say here will have some sort of chance of coming true. So with that, I'll start off pretty late with my first bold prediction of the season, which is that the Orlando Magic will have at least one All-Star this season. I'm not going to put the title on any certain player, but all I'm saying is that there's going to be at least one member of this current roster in Indiana for All-Star weekend. I'll leave it up to you to make the prediction on who you think it will be. There's obviously 2 candidates on the roster that stand out from the rest of everybody, but as you may know, the NBA can be a very wild place, so there's no counting out anybody in the future. Number 2, the Orlando Magic will have a top 5 defense in the entire league this season. Coming off what we've seen from Summer League and how many different players on our roster can affect the game defensively, assuming that a lot of the mistakes we were seeing throughout the games gets patched up coming into the season, then absolutely I see no reason why this team's ceiling cannot be a top 5 defense in the league. We obviously have the correct player personnel and talent on this roster, and along with that, a head coach who is consistently pushing defense and a roster behind him that seems to be fully bought in on that idea, which will lead right into my third bold prediction of the season. Some might say this is a cop-out because I won't pick one direct player, but I believe that one of Jalen Suggs or Jonathan Isaac will make the all-defensive team this season. And I put either of the 2 players because Jalen has the minutes and obviously the talent to reach that. And as for Jonathan Isaac, it's the minutes that would be the issue. We know that when healthy, if he was playing 30 minutes a game in a starting lineup, not only would he be all defensive team, he would be defensive player of the year potential every single season. So yes, if he somehow can get to a point where he's playing 25-30 minutes a game, then this really isn't that much of a bold prediction. And as for Jalen, if he could just stay healthy and retain his minutes in that starting lineup, I can easily see a world where one, if not both, I'm not going to get crazy and say both, but at least one of them will make an all-defensive team this year. So going into number 4 and 5 is where I'm going to take that next step, and now we're going to get really bold. So with that, my 4th bold prediction for the season will be that the Magic will not only be a playoff team, but they're going to completely skip the play-in tournament. So yes, we will go from barely missing the play-in last year to now completely jumping over and becoming a top 6 seed in the East. Now, I'm not going to get crazy and say what seed I think we will be, but I definitely do believe in a perfect world there is a path for us where everything just clicks together, that we can take a big enough jump over some of these teams to not only get into a postseason situation, but a guaranteed slot in the playoffs. And it might sound crazy, but when you think about all the other things that I predicted in this video, if they could all in some way come together, such as having a top 5 defense, having an all-star, and then with the depth of the roster that we've seen, then yes, you can say that there is a real pathway for this to be a logical outcome. Alright, and with that, here comes the 5th and final prediction. These were in no order, but I did kind of save, the boldest for the last. And with this one, I wanted to think a little bit out of the box and fresh, not just come in and say, oh, the Magic are going to win the championship this year. So for my 5th and final bold prediction of the season, I predict that the Orlando Magic will be playing in Las Vegas come early December. AKA, I'm predicting the Magic will win their group in the new in-season tournament. A group that includes the Chicago Bulls, the Toronto Raptors, the Brooklyn Nets, and even the Boston Celtics. So I'm saying that we're going to come out of the season hot and strong, and come November when we have to play these in-season games, that we can be the most dominant team in the group. Now, this wouldn't be that bold if this group didn't contain the title favorites in the Boston Celtics. Even with our success against them last year, they have came back and reloaded pretty strong for this upcoming season. But something this tells me that this team will be feisty and hungry, and they're just going to come out and want it more. And I think that the in-season tournament will be a situation for younger teams to kind of like, okay, this is where I'm going to make my mark on the season. Especially for a lot of teams where title aspirations aren't a real possibility for them. I think a lot of teams such as us, OKC, Detroit, Houston will kind of look at this in-season tournament as like, okay, this is like our stepping ground into, being up there with, the big dogs. And then I can also see the title favorites not really pushing as hard because their hopes are set on just that, an NBA title, so they don't want to, wear themselves out or potential risk injury in the regular season for something that's brand new. So yeah, guys, those are my 5 bold predictions for the upcoming 2023-2024 Orlando Magic season. Let me guys know what you thought, and maybe some of your own personal bold predictions that you have for this upcoming season. Just as a reminder, I am on playback as a creator now, and I do plan on doing my first ever playback stream next Friday at 10 o'clock versus the Trailblazers. It will be our 2nd game of the season. It is a West Coast away game, so the times are a little later, I know, but it is something I've been looking forward to do, so the link for that is in the description, and right next to it is my Twitter if you want to go there and follow me. It's a place where I can tweet out when I'm going to do an upcoming stream on playback, and along with that, I also want to try to bring some more content from in the arena and kind of try to show off what's going on in the Amway Center, the atmosphere they're bringing. For the people who can't make it to the games and, get to experience that Amway energy, I will be trying my best to work on that for the upcoming season. And yeah, that's about it. If you guys enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. And on that, I'm out. Peace.